Good morning. It's so noisy and windy out here, but there's so much to show you, so I'm going to show you and then we're going to go inside. So this is just the quickest tour, but you know, here's the garden. You can see the wind is doing its thing, you can hear the wind is doing its thing. There are the white roses. So just the quickest whistle stop. You know, the roses here, the compassion rose, a little bit battered because we've had wind and rain. The first fuchsia flowers are coming. Good morning, beautiful beings. I can see you coming on. And look, the white phylloxera is fabulous. Let's get closer so you can see the details. This is beautiful. Little sweetheart rose is looking really good right now. Morning, Sanjia. Yeah, the sky is gorgeous. And the foxglove is coming out. Got a lot to show you, not much time. So lilies and the amazing coatness, which I really enjoy the colour of that foliage. And the dahlias are so bright. And the little violets, let's not forget the violets, because they're so beautiful. There's such a lot. Something I have to show you. It's only just opening. We're going for a bit of a ramble today. See that iris that I thought I'd lost? Isn't it beautiful? Focus. There you go. It's just glorious. It's still not open, but it's lovely. Now we're going around the side of the house, and you can see the big Lilium regale is gearing up. Christmas. Good morning, Jen. Good morning. And look at this. This is a wild and dangerous thing that will take over the world, but when you plant it somewhere that nothing else will grow, it grows and carpets everything with blue. So this is another campanula, but you can see it can be very invasive. Walking on up, this is the back side of the house, all the utilities and things. Here's the loganberry. But what I want you to see here before we go inside, two things. First of all, the hydrangeas are coming online, but I just want you to see this, because isn't it fabulous? All of these iris flowers blowing in the wind, and it's terribly bright. Contrast is a bit difficult. Look, there's a bumblebee in the back there, but yeah, it's lovely. Oh, good morning, Mike. Here we are. It's just windy outside, so I'm doing a quick tour and then we'll go in. But look at the love and the mist. No mist today. Just a wind to make everything wave. And this is kind of the star of the show now, is the Veilchenblow rose. It's a rambler. Smells good. It perfumes the air. And if I come into the place where it's shaded, you can see it better. And, well, it's had a rough little time, but look at it. It's just covered in flowers. And this is probably the beauty shot today, is this. Look at that. It's a brand new cane, that one from last year, and it's just covered itself with flowers. It's beautiful. I had to tie it to the fence, see, because it kept on coming over and getting squashed. So there you go. That is the garden, and it's definitely windy. As you can see, blue sky, clouds scudding across. Good morning, Andrew. I'm pretty sure that's you, standing there with your arms out, embracing the day. We're going to go inside, out of the noise. But I wanted you to see that because it's too beautiful not to, right? Okay, here we go. Inside. One can focus and not have to think about how much noise the wind is making. Alright, and I left myself with my little... Anybody who sees how I actually make the phone stand up where I want it to go would laugh, because it's this little pile of boxes and a book to make it the right height, because when we got the new sofa, the new old sofa that just manifested itself, it was too low, so you know, it's this little conglomerate of things. Now, put the clock on the bench. Right, I made it. Mimi, it's great to see you. It's lovely to see everybody who is here. Bless you all. So today I want to talk about this whole business of opening your heart. Look at that. And why that's essential for letting stuff into your life, and what it might feel like, and what can happen, and how I do it, and maybe a little bit of the science about it, and all of that, right? So Opening your heart. What the hell is that, really? Where do I start? I'm not going to talk about what it is yet. I want to talk about why it's essential and why it can be so terribly frightening. And I know I touched on that yesterday, but I decided I just want to make this today's topic. Opening your heart. Ask yourself what that actually means to you. And, to me, I had no idea, really, when I started, thinking, I've got to open my heart. What does that mean? And I think my first thought about it was it's that feeling that you have when you just love somebody or, it's, oh, this is amazing. And, your heart sort of opens and you feel, you feel love, right? You feel immense something, and it's a positive emotion. That was all I really knew what that was when I was first sort of thinking, I'm supposed to be doing this, but apparently this is a good idea. Okay. And opening your heart is something that becomes possible once your heart becomes coherent. So what does that mean? Ibrahim, it's beautiful to see you. What does that mean to have a coherent heart? Well, the Heart Math Institute have been working with and researching around and playing with and exploring heart coherence for a long time. And I know what heart coherence is. Everybody, almost everybody, is familiar. We have a heartbeat, right? Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. And you can see it on an ECG, that thing that everybody knows. If it's normal, sometimes it makes funny shapes when it's become incoherent. But the normal heartbeat, it's like this. And it is however fast it is, and we're all familiar with the idea that everybody has a pulse, and it goes at a certain speed. And for a long time, people thought that having a steady pulse was a sign of good health. But then people recognised this thing called heart rate variability. And what they realised is that actually a really steady pulse is not a good sign of good health. Now, why is that? Because we have a thing called the vagus nerve, and that is like the clutch of the nervous system and the brake. If there's a part of the autonomic nervous system that runs your body that is about fight or flight, and that's like the accelerator. And the rest and digest, or even the freeze and be afraid, that's run by the parasympathetic nervous system, and that is to slow down, the rest and digest, the relax, the heal. And the vagus nerve runs that. And heart rate variability is related to vaso, as in blood vessels, vasovagal, vagus nerve, tone. And when your vasovagal tone is good, there's actually a very regular pattern to your heart rate variability. And if you've ever done any breath work, particularly with extending breath, not long like Wim Hof and all that, but if you've ever done any breath work, sooner or later you're going to notice that when you breathe in, your pulse, your heart rate goes up, it accelerates. And when you breathe out for any length of time, it drops. There's a natural up and down to it. And I always used to think this was wrong, It's like, why is my heartbeat changing its speed? But there is a natural thing that when you breathe in, some aspect of the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response, is just activated a little bit so things go faster. And when you breathe out, some aspect of the parasympathetic nervous system is activated so things go slow. There is a normal pattern. And so when you're sitting still, although you can do this when you're very active, so heart coherence, I've discovered, is not related to activity. It's not related to how fast things are going. Hi, Andrew. It's not. You're late, but always in perfect time. So heart rate variability, it happens at high speeds as well. So it's not related to always having a slow pulse and, being very focused and doing breath work. But I just started to notice this when I was just doing square breathing, the 4 in, hold for 4, 4 out, hold for 4. I noticed that my pulse would speed up, going up, and then it would slow down, going down, and then, and I thought, what is this? And that was actually a sign of good health. That is vasovagal tone. It's supposed to do that. So when you And if, a regular heartbeat is going to do that. It's going to go a little bit faster, a little bit slower. Now, when people make their hearts coherent, you do that by generating elevated emotions. And I think that's why this is a good topic to finish the week on, because we talked a lot about elevating your emotions and how the hell do you do that when you don't know what it feels like to feel love or joy or whatever it is, right? We talked about it earlier this week. When you generate elevated emotions, and I'm using the word generate on purpose because you have to generate them sometimes, because there's nothing outside of you to give you a reason why you should feel love or happy or healthy or anything, but you can generate them. It's a choice, and also it's a skill. It really is a skill. When you generate a positive emotion, your heart becomes coherent. It's just what happens. And heart coherence now, and I've seen pictures of it, I don't have the pictures here to show you, when you measure like the spaces between the beats, in other words, how fast the heart is beating, and the changes of it, the pattern of it, right? When you map that, when a heart is coherent, it's a very regular pattern. It goes like this. And when it's super coherent, it's incredibly regular. When a person is anxious or frustrated or angry or feeling shame or guilt or pain or any of that, it's like this. It's all over the place. And if they have a really weak heart, for example, if a person is in serious heart failure or lots of cardiac damage or whatever, the heart rate variable is very small because the heart just doesn't have the flexibility to pump more or less. Or it's just bubbling along with very little energy. And I've seen that, the tracing, the heart rate variability measurements that they've taken at some of Joe's workshops, where a person with serious heart failure, and it's doing this tiny little wiggle, and then they're in a meditation and they manage to create heart coherence for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And suddenly there's this beautiful regular pattern. It's a skill. They've actually opened their heart, generated elevated emotions, and their heart's come into coherence, and now it's behaving like it's a healthy heart. I mean, wow, really? This is fact. I don't have the picture to show you, but it's true. This is what happens. So it is physiological effect. When you open your heart and generate positive emotions, that happens, and it's measurable. Now, the other thing that happens when you generate positive emotions, particularly if you can pair that with a very clear intention of what you desire in life, is remember that clear intention, that clear thought, which is not about, oh my God, I'm desperate, I need money, I'm desperate, I need to get well because I'm going to die. No, that's got a really scary emotion with it, right? But you just have a clear thought. The thought and the feeling of I'm abundant, I'm healthy, I'm well, whatever, I feel love. And then you manage to generate the matching feeling that goes with that. The thought's here, the feeling's here. The thought is an electrical signal that goes out to the universe. It's a little broadcast, not very powerful. The heart's 50,000 times bigger and stronger in terms of signal that it produces, right? The brain produces an electrical signal, and it is the order to the universal kitchen. We want this. It does it all the time, by the way. Whether it's coherent, positive, whatever, or what, it's always sending a signal. But when you get really clear about it, and just hold a clear thought, that's a clear intention, that's a clear signal out to the universe. The heart generates a magnetic field, and it's measurable, and the more coherent it is, the more powerful it is. It's measurable out to, let me get this right, it can be 9 meters across when a person is really coherent. So it's 4.5 meters on either side, and if there's about 3 feet to a meter, that's about 15 feet on either side. 12 to 13 feet on either side of a person, all around them, this huge torus field generated by a really coherent heart. So that, it is huge. It's amazing what we are capable of doing. And that massive field, which is actually in the shape of a torus, the donut, the universal shape, the shape of an apple, the shape of the universe, it is the shape of some galaxies, you can see it too. That becomes the vortex, because the torus is a vortex, right? And you're in the middle of it, and it's literally like a black hole drawing things to you. But, unlike a black hole, you're not imploding. You're just this torus of energy. When your heart is coherent, that's what you're doing. Literally, measurably, physically, quantumly. And so the clear intention, the elevated emotion, that's what happens. That's why when you can open your heart finally, and I have been literally doing this just in the last few days as stuff's been landing. It's like, oh my God, and I know it's because I've been releasing a lot of old pain and opening my heart more. And stuff is coming. And it is quite instant. I mean, quite instant. It is instant. It's blowing me away. That's why opening your heart is kind of essential to letting the life that you desire in. QED, clear intention, elevated emotion, open your heart. You become the vortex. You become that toroid, and you are drawing that universal order from the universal kitchen to you. That's what happens. So what is it like for me working with this? And I remembered yesterday when I was briefly explaining this to my husband, because, I like to tell him a little bit about what's going on in my meditations. And I said, I opened my heart more. I had a bit of a healing yesterday. I did. There was a lot of emotion that released. It was painful. Nothing to do with this lifetime. God knows where it came from. I don't care. But it released, and I felt different afterwards. And, amazing day yesterday. And I said, because he said, well, when did he ask? Or I was thinking, I said to him, I don't know when I slammed my heart shut. And, I used to think it was then and this time in my life. And then I remembered that earlier this year in a meditation, I had the realization that because of where I came from before I became Maddie, it was almost before I was born. It was like connected enough to this reality, just hanging around my mother and going, oh shit, this is so different. I don't want to be here. Slam. And so I think I was shut off to all kinds of things from the moment I was born. And I recognise the patterns, So for me, and especially one of the big patterns has been I'm isolated, I'm alone, I am unsupported. There is nobody who's going to help me. Hi, Abigail! And I've kind of had that blown out of me this week. It's been amazing. And so, we make these... we make a judgment about how it is based on our perception of our reality, Andrew. I'm just remembering Joe explaining beliefs, perceptions. We just make a judgment based upon a snap experience of, this is how my life is. And I did it before I was born. I'm pretty sure about that. And so to open my heart to being supported, what? To having people support me in what I want to accomplish and do, having people get me, it's actually frightening. Like I've said, it's not so much now, I'm getting a little bit more accustomed to it, but frightening to let that possibility in. Because what if I do that and then they betray me? I haven't experienced deep betrayal in this lifetime. Where the hell did that come from? Who cares? But that was the feeling. That is what I have been releasing. Or they'll die. As soon as there's anyone I depend on, they'll just go away. Yeah, I know you do. It's amazing. But see, it's so lovely to be loved, and it's so lovely to share love. It's like it's been all one way. And now I'm actually allowing it to come the other way in a way that I didn't even realise I wasn't doing. Not like this was conscious. Not like I'm saying, I'm the savior of the world, but you can't give to me. I'm the greatest martyr there is. No, I had no idea that I was doing this. So to open my heart, and I'm going to be really quick, I've raved on, I'm running out of time again. To open my heart now, and I've practiced this, I really have. I work every day, as most of you know, with Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, and there's 2 little ones, and they're available for free on YouTube, which were totally critical for me to open my heart. One of them is Go Love 20, the other one is called You Inspire Me, and I do You Inspire Me 5 days a week before I do my main meditation of a weekday morning, And both of them can absolutely rip open my heart, because they're entirely about getting into your heart and loving on either a person who you love, or loving on your future and loving on someone that inspires you. Oh, Laura, love you, honey. Thank you. You're welcome. It's mutual, you know. We give. You cannot give more than you can receive, and you cannot receive more than you can give. And the amount you can receive is directly related to how much your heart is open. Hello, Maddie. So, you know, what happens is, as I make the choice to participate in this process, and I can do it sitting silently, but I'm just getting better at doing it on command, is the choice to realise the energy's going to move, and I'm going to cry. I may even, you know, grab the face in it because I don't want the neighbours to wonder what the hell's going on, because there's so much energy releasing from my body. That happens occasionally. It's got to get out. Oh, thank you, Abigail. Thank you. Mwah, to all of you. Because you see, we're doing this together. You realise that I'm nobody without you. Had you thought about that? Yeah, Go Love 20. It's just the most beautiful little big meditation. Do that twice a day with all your heart, even when you think, oh my God, I can't do this, and even when you think this is bloody scary, and oh my God, who can I possibly open my heart to because they're going to hurt me? Well, pick someone that feels safe, and you inspire me. But when you look on YouTube, it's just a you for you inspire me. But you'll find them. You just Joe Dispenza meditations, you'll find them. You know, our resistance comes up, our fear comes up, and that's okay. Because as you breathe in and out of your heart, and as you allow yourself to love on someone or something, and you can do it all in the safety of your own internal space. You never have to say a word to anybody if that's too hard, and I didn't. Your heart starts to open, and you feel freer, and the heaviness goes away, and you start to notice things coming to you that haven't been coming for a long time. Because you're finally allowing yourself to receive them. You just can't receive until you open your heart. It's not possible. So, you know, when you open your heart, you for the first time, you can expect emotion to shift. It might not be tears. It might be rage. Who knows? But the point is, it's not going to kill you. It's going to heal you. If you're willing to face yourself and just ride the emotions, surrender to it, it's going to flow out of you. And you're going to free yourself and make yourself able to give and receive more. And that's really what I wanted to talk about. You can only talk around the edges of it. You've got to experience it. But everything else works once you start to open your heart. And until you do, everything else is just slower. I mean, you'll get there. Because you'll get there when you finally open your heart. But if you can accelerate the process, well, I recommend it. Thanks so much for sharing with me. It's Friday again. Last night in bed I realised, oh my God, it's Friday tomorrow and there's a thing we need to do before Friday. I haven't done it, so I got up and did it early this morning. You know, you just gotta, wow, it's Friday. Big love to all of you. Thank you so much for sharing the journey with me. I do wish you blessing for yourself and an opening heart this weekend, and I will see you Sunday, Monday. I'm so proud of you, Jan. You're facing yourself and you'll find freedom. Big love. I'll see you.